I'm kind of, I don't know if you can see, so I just taped them in there for now, but they have a cut line marked on them. I didn't quite cut it yet. I'm kind of just sticking it in there, so I have some interference there, but I have that area here. Long story short, it's the same on both sides, which is good because you know me and symmetry, but I think I'm going to try and move them physically forward a half an inch. We'll see where that brings us. So the left one, I'm really liking the way it sits and it fits in here. Here you can see the marked line. I have these at about 2 inches, give or take. And the right one, this is upside down, so this is the right one, has a little bit of a gap here. The only reason I'm hesitant is because if I chop another ½ inch off of this to move it forward, I don't want it to change too much on how this sits in here. I don't want to mess them up basically, but I'm good at that. So I'm going to cut it. All right, well, that was a lot of out, trim, cut, in, out, trim, cut, in, out, trim, and so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to do is the baffles, the metal baffles inside the engine are 13 inches wide on the front, so it needs to clear that. That's this red line, meaning this is about 12.5 inches. The other option is to bring this arch forward enough to clear it. So I've probably brought it forward close to that ½ inch that I was talking about. And that will allow me to center this, which would, you know, prevent me from not having to move it over that way. So I had to trim a good amount off of the front up there. I'm still finalizing it. But you can also see as you trim this side versus that side, they're gonna shift. So I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm doing it. So yeah, just a lot of finagling, but I'll get there. All right, getting there. Pretty happy with that. That one already clears. This one here, which is a little tweaked anyway. I remember I was gonna cut off that front lip. It kind of clears it, but touches a little bit. By Jolly. I have no idea if this is what they want you to do, but I think I got it where it works, at least for our airplane. So it does require a good amount of trimming, and here's what I came up with. So these sides are about the same size as this, so I felt compelled to have them line up. If you do that originally with all the meat in the front, it pushes everything too far back and hits that metal baffle on the inside. So the key is where this arch starts, where this break is. These are supposed to be two inches in. And so if you measure it this way, and you have this break where it goes from straight to round, right at that 2 inches, that'll clear that baffle. So you line the fronts up, put that break there, and then I drew a center line, and then these lines, I think they're like 11 inches or 11.5 inches apart, just to kind of keep the tails centered so I don't end up, you know, like that or something. And that's what we got. So the perforated line, I didn't cut it, but I cut a lot more than I thought I was gonna. I left about 3/4 of an inch from that marking in there, And then I was just very careful not to cut too much on that because I want that to seal around there. I did thin this out. I suppose you could probably just cut the whole thing and glue it underneath, but I figured this would be a good place to put glue and then, you know, have it adhere underneath there. All right, well, that's what I did. Maybe it helps. All right, disregard everything I said. They still hit ever so slightly. So I think I'm going to just continue what I was doing is grind this off so I can rotate them, because the back can come in closer and that'll contour that nicely and that'll move this side forward. So basically just gonna keep doing that. So this side's good, just move this side forward, but we'll leave that for tomorrow. Good night. All right, so the original, what I was talking about is basically sanding this so it twists in, like just that side. But I opted to just move the whole thing forward as much as I could. And the reason being is if you twist it like this line from the cowling, I wanted it to remain parallel with that, and if you do that twisty thing, this side will get tighter than this side. It still is a little bit, but it's definitely good enough. So the conclusion is basically just cut it to the line that they marked, and you're going to be a lot closer than me taking 1/8 of an inch at a time to cover whatever that is, an inch or two. I did ended up having to cut these back a little bit just to make it fit, but this bend that I was talking about, where for transitions from straight to round, is probably moved forward 1/4 of an inch now. So, you know, if you were to do a perpendicular from here to that bend, you're 1 3/4 inches or less than the 2 inches that I kind of had before. I'll have to, when I epoxy them in, you know, move them up. Just, I don't know, put a little tension. I was even thinking of maybe a Clico here or something, but they don't hit now. They fit very beautifully, and yeah, nice product. Oh, and that back distance from like this edge to this edge is about 11 inches, and I just centered it. I think the way you would think about this is it's like building your own cowls and or ramps and just getting a shape, except they already did the shape for you. So you basically just have to do whatever it takes to make it fit. There's no instructions. Yeah, let's try this again. The last time it didn't record with audio for some reason, but I'm real happy with all the fit in the corners, all contoured to where they're supposed to be. And this clears inside the cowling now, so no more issues there. And now my plan is I have some foil. I'm gonna put that on there, figure out exactly where this is gonna sit, and then fiberglass little strips that finish up that. I ground a lot of it away, and I think it would be cool to just have that finish up and then be able to glue it all on. So I got this taped up. It's kind of just some protective tape that we use at work, and where I don't want the resin to run in there. But basically, I just outlined the dotted lines of the pieces that I want to add. Got one layer on there, one layer on there, one layer there and there, and I'm gonna let that dry. I'm actually intending to put a layer on the inside here as well. I find myself when I remove the cowl that I grab it here quite a bit, and I don't want to collapse it. This is very, very thin, and I'm probably gonna put a layer inside here too, just in case it does rub up against the baffling, so it doesn't wear through right away. Would you guys like to see a time lapse or real time of the fiberglass drying? Let me know in the comments. All right, these things have dried. They look kind of messy, but once I trim it, I think it'll look a lot different. So I'm going to do that. Bear with me. I'm doing like 2 videos at the same time here. One of this and one of the baffling, but I'm trying to keep it separate so it's less confusing. I have no idea if it'll work, but good luck. Thanks. I'm real happy how these came out, the first step, so we got a little bit more to go. Not quite as smooth and lump-free as the Aerosport part, but definitely does the job. So now, when you put these in, that glue lip contours all the way up inside here, and on this side, you know, up into over here. So you can put the structural adhesive on there, glue them in, and have coverage all the way around, you know, even up inside here. Probably have to put like a hole so the air inside doesn't expand and contract in case it gets, you know, airtight. Again, the idea wasn't to like reinvent what Aerosport did. I had just cut more and more off of the front that I kind of wanted that flange, you know, part for the look and part for also mounting it and part to see if I could do it. What I'm going to do now is basically, because I just bonded these to this at a perpendicular area, I have a few hairs that come up like maybe like, you know, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch on the side here. So I'm going to put a strip on the inside that goes, you know, over both to hold it together, and I'm going to put a reinforcement strip that goes there. Like I said, just to give it some strength here, where I always feel like I'm grabbing it when I'm grabbing the cowl like this to take it off. Maybe I'll come up with a different way of grabbing it, but that's just kind of what I've been doing. see where the dark area is at 2 inches. There's one more layer in there. Not like super strong, but a little bit stronger than what that was. And then one more layer on the outside there. So these are actually probably a little more robust than what that had, but at least I know it's not going to fall apart. But yeah, there you go. You got a 1/2 inch flange going all the way up to underneath the intake. That'll give us good gluing area. So I think these are ready. I am going to, I don't know if I'll glue them tonight. I might glue them tomorrow, but that's the next step. All right, these are ready to go in. Trying to think of a neat way to do it. So the stuff that I bought from the 2216, you got a mix like that. Hey, I don't know if I have enough. I kind of just want a caulking type material that I can put a bead down and stick it in. So I took some fiberglass scraps and some carbon fiber scraps, and I have the silicone 2000. Let's see if that sticks well to it. I have fiberglass, just fiberglass resin. I have the CA glue and the 2216. I'll let this dry inside, and then we'll see what will be the chosen one for tomorrow. But for now, a long day, 11 o'clock again. I've been on this 12 hours more. We got a lot done, so see ya. All right, let's see what the results of this, my little unofficial test here are. I basically glued all these things on here, and this is CA glue, the very thin stuff. I'm very familiar with this. It's probably sufficient for holding that on there. I just don't know how it holds up to vibration. But okay, or you can break it loose. This is the 2216, which is the Scotch weld, and this is the one I was gonna go with, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So that, oh boy. It literally ripped the fiberglass apart, so that's a definite winner. This right here is just fiberglass resin. I suspected that's what's going to happen there. Then I also, kind of a big fan of this stuff here. This was able to glue silicone together, aluminum, and a bunch of other stuff. That's what we got here. So that's separated. It adhered to both sides. It was about 24 hours, but it's separated on itself. Anyway, the clear winner is this stuff. The problem is that I bought this because it was on Amazon, and it was 50 bucks for these 2 tubes. But my problem is if I glue these, you know, by dispensing them and nudging it onto here, like I want something in a caulking gun, so I'm gonna go and get the caulking gun version of this, which I also needed for the windshield, and buy all that stuff. So I'm not gonna glue those on yet, but they are ready to be glued. So the short of it is, I'm gonna end the video for the Aerosport cowl ramps here. You know, I made my little, I probably might fill this in if I feel inclined to do that, just so they're more uniform looking. And yeah, so those are the cowl ramps. Needed a little bit of modification on the front here, but other than that, fit and look awesome. Good night, happy building. Again, that's just me doing it, being silly, doing whatever I can come up with. Thank you for watching, and happy building.